comes to throwing away garbage, please, please, please do not climb the fence. Whoever I saw last week on the night shift, I watched you climb up onto the back bike rack and use it as a step to crawl over the fence. You broke the fence, okay? When it comes to needing to get anywhere in the park, please, please, please use a gate or a door, or if it's locked, please ask a supervisor. Whoever I saw throwing some garbage away, you could have just as easily asked the supervisor to open this gate over here or walked around the front. The fences over here are very sharp and have resulted in a lot of injuries before, so please do not climb the fence anywhere.
All right, so if you can see here, we have what is generally termed nastiness. So the problem with that is, guess whose nastiness it is? Yours. So we all get to clean it up. So if you see something like this, move the table and you clean it. If there's grease, use the greaser. If it needs to be scrubbed, you scrub it. If you see a problem at the pool, guess whose responsibility it is? Ours, as in you and me. So, if you see a problem, clean it up or make sure that it gets cleaned up. No one else is going to do it but you. If it's gross, it's because you haven't cleaned it.
Good morning, guards. Today we're going to be talking about clocking in and out. Make sure you're doing that for every shift. And when you're clocking in and out, make sure you have the right timestamp. It should be AM or PM. And make sure you're typing that in if you're adding a shift later on. When you're clocking in and out, if you put AM or PM on the wrong time, it really messes up your time card. So you have to make sure you're getting those in correctly.
Hey guys, just a couple of reminders about getting your shifts changed. Make sure you're communicating. If you send out like a group text to like 5 people saying cover my shift, make sure you communicate back to that person so that they don't show up for a shift that they don't need to work. Another thing, it doesn't change on the digital copy, so keep that in mind so that, we don't keep track of that sort of thing. So you need to be on top of that. And 3, if you don't get your shift covered, it still belongs to you. It doesn't matter if your plans haven't disappeared, your shift is still there, it's your responsibility. And it makes everyone's life difficult when you don't follow through. So if you can't get it covered, sorry, you still have to come in. Thanks.
Good morning, lifeguards. I'm going to talk to you today about everybody's favorite job, the reason you signed up for being a lifeguard, pool vacuuming. So first thing that I want to do is give you a little introduction to our vacuums. We have 2 of them and there's 2 different ways to get them started, okay? The first vacuum we have is this guy right here. On this vacuum we have a vertical light switch. On the other one, not shown, we have a horizontal light switch. On the vertical light switch vacuum, you plug it in and you can flip the switch on and off to turn on the vacuum. Pretty simple. On the other vacuum, the one that has the horizontal light switch, the moment you plug it in, it will start up. So be sure not to plug it in until you're entirely ready. So the vacuums have a couple parts to them. They have the tube, which leads out of the vacuum, the tube which leads into the vacuum, and the pump part itself. Right here, we have a container to prime the vacuum. So when you first get the vacuum out, the first thing that you'll want to do is take your exit tube and make sure it's bungee down nice and tight, facing away from the pool. Something I see pretty often is that people will set up the vacuum with the tube into the pool or facing towards the pool. That's entirely counterproductive. You want to have the tube facing so that all the water that comes out runs into the drain and not back into the pool. Second thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to get the white tube prepped. I have it already set up over here, but I'm going to demonstrate how you prep these guys. In order to make the vacuum starting as easy as possible, you want to dunk these pretty thoroughly before you hook them up to the vacuum. So you'll take the white tube, you'll bring it to water, and you'll just run it underwater, and you'll see small air bubbles come up, showing that the air is coming out of the tube. You want it to be basically entirely filled with water before you attach it to the vacuum. You'll attach it to the vacuum right here at this location. Then you'll attach the second side of that pump, of the white tube, to the vacuum head portion of the vacuum. You'll attach to the end of the white tube right here on this big hole, and then you'll attach this portion right here into one of the metal tubes that we have near the back room. These are a little tricky to put on sometimes. I found it's easier to put them on when you try and put it on vertical, and you have to make sure that this part right here doesn't get caught on the tube when you're pushing it in. After that, you're going to put this and the tube in the water, attach the white tube to the vacuum, and then there's a couple of steps to start it. What you have to do is prime the vacuum. Basically, this cylinder right here has to be filled with water. You have to unscrew it, put it aside, and then use a bucket to fill the cylinder until air starts coming up. You'll see bubbles come up, and once the water level no longer drops and bubbles start coming up, you know that you're ready to start the vacuum. At that point, you'll want to make sure that this rubber ring right here, which makes a tight seal, is firmly in place at the top of the cylinder. At that point, you can put this back on, make sure it's tightly screwed on, and you can either flip the switch for the vertical switch vacuum or plug it in for the horizontal switch vacuum. And at that point, you should be ready to go. You know the vacuum is running when there's a good strong stream of water coming out of the exit tube.
Okay, for today's training, we are racing to see how fast we can do an extrication in the deep submerged. So all teams are competing against each other. So going down, getting deep submerged, passive, bringing them to the side and boarding them and getting them on the deck. This is our training for today. Talking to each other, making sure everybody's doing it correctly. Looks like this team's gonna get it out first. Nice job, and they're done. This is the training video. Watch the head over there. Should we do it? Nice extrication. So if you haven't done this, make sure you get this done with your supervisor.